So today's the day we're going to harvest the beetroot and get it all prepped and put into the store. This is our primary storage beetroot bed and it's done amazingly well this year. So we're going to have a big glut of beetroot and we're going to be giving a lot of it away. But yeah, it's a really nice position to be in because beetroot's one of our favourite winter veggies. Stores incredibly well, probably stores until May. By which time we'll have fresh beetroot in the polytunnel. So yeah, we're going to get it all prepped and stored away. So this bed will soon be broad beans and field beans, and so I need to get it cleared now so that I can get those well established really. Probably planting them out sometime towards the end of October, or sowing them actually sometime towards the end of October, and I will have to put nets on this bed because otherwise they'll be completely overwhelmed with the leaves from the tree that's above us. And then once we've harvested the broad beans and the field beans, we'll be planting purple sprouting broccoli in this bed. So we grow a mix of the orange or golden beetroot and the red beetroot. The red beetroot's Pablo and the orange is a mix of Burpee's Golden and Baldor. They both seem to have done really nicely. So I only need enough beetroot to fill these 4 storage containers, and I've got 2 barrow loads. So I'm going to do quite a bit of grading, and I'm going to compost the spares and give any away that I can find people for. So when we're grading them, we're just looking for any surface defects, and we're just giving them a soft brush and then twisting the top off, trying to make sure that there's nothing on the end here that can rot. That is kind of a perfect beetroot. It's good size as well. There's another bigger one. Again, just brushing everything off, looking for surface defects. This one has got a surface defect there. So that'll go into the giveaway or use now bucket. Whereas that one, just twist it off. It's kind of perfect. No defects. Nothing on the end here that's going to rot. So that can go in our store bucket. So basically they just get graded into giveaway, use now and store, and then the storage ones will get graded into sort of small and large, and anything really small like this, for example, will probably just go into giveaway. Perfectly good for pickling probably as well. This has got a surface defect, but it's well healed, so it would probably be okay. But I've got so much beetroot that I'm not going to bother with anything that's got a surface defect. I'm also not going to bother cleaning up particularly well anything that I'm going to give away. Recipients can quite happily clean their own up. It's such a joy when you get one like that though. Just absolutely perfect condition. and then I drop it and get mud all over it. Yeah, I love it. We just want to remove anything that can rot. That is perfect. So I've cleared and composted these beds and just put these temporary covers over just to keep the leaves off. Just make my life easier when it comes to planting the broad beans and the field beans in this bed in a few weeks' time. Because it's going to have purple sprouting broccoli in it later on next year, I've limed it as well. So now we're going to store the beetroot. I store it in these large pine shavings, which are kind of naturally antiseptic, and so they're really useful for storing things, and they're very, very light, which helps, and they absorb a lot of water. So I've mixed them up with water in this barrow, so I put 10 litres of water in that barrow, just mixed them up, and you can see now hopefully that they're really quite nice and damp, and that'll be great. So I'll show you how I do it. So we're going to get the bed in, just put the bed at the bottom, probably no more than an inch or so. Then put your biggest beetroot at the bottom of that. So these are the ones that you're going to be eating in May. And you don't want to pack them too close together because you want the pine shavings in between them. If you've got find any with a slight defect like that, you're going to want that in your use now container. So I've only just put 6 in there, and then I'm just going to drop some more shavings in. Again, just so they're not touching, and I'm just going to pack all of those on top. So there's really very little to it. So what you'll notice is that they will sprout and you will get leaves growing. Don't worry about that. You can cut them off if you want. So there we go, that represents 4 months supply for us of beetroot, and that is January, February, March and April. By the end of April we'll have fresh beetroot in the polytunnel, and then after that at the back of the low tunnels. So what we're going to eat between now and the end of the year, well, we're just going to eat the kind of rejects, so ones like this, which have got a big wound on them, and ones that we just keep fresh in the ground until the end of the year basically. And then in those beds we'll plant shallots in sort of February time. So I used about 1/3 of this container, so I'll be saving that for next year, or I could also just use it as a source of browns in my compost mix if I ran out of browns. So at this point you might be thinking, can I store carrots like that? And yeah, you can, but the thing is with carrots, they store so much better in the ground, I think. You know, beetroot, they store really well in wood shavings, and they're basically like as good as the day that you put them in there. Sometimes I think they're even better. Whereas carrots, you know, they just don't store as well as when you just keep them alive in the ground. But of course you do need to have somewhere nice and sort of safe from slugs and snails and things like that if you're going to do that, and that's why I keep mine in coal frames. I'm just taking these carrots out because I need to get this bed planted, and these are summer carrots really, and they won't stand much longer in the ground. They're already slightly slug eaten, and there's the odd mouldy one. So these are just going to be stored in the fridge for the next couple of weeks until we switch over to our autumn carrot bed. And there's some little tiddlers which I planted later, which are really nice in a salad. So there we go, all stored away. And you know, the onions obviously here and the potatoes and things, they all need different conditions, but the fact that the beetroot is in nice damp wood chips, that provides all the humidity it needs. The onions of course need it much drier. These are the beetroot that we'll be eating fresh